The new Creative Memories collection, Something Blue, is not just for weddings. Hi, Donna Guest here, the Lazy Scrapbooker and Creative Memories Advisor, and welcome to this month's edition of the Savvy Scrapbookers. That's when Nicole So of Nicole Scrapbooks, Debbie Martin of Debbie's Scrapbooking Buddies, and I, Donna Guest, the Lazy Scrapbooker, get together every month and share one pack of paper and one pack of embellishments. Then we show you how to create 3 layouts for 6 12 by 12 album pages. Let's get started. Here are the materials from Something Blue we'll use for my layouts. We're going to use 2 background pieces that match, this gray with the little design on it here. And then we're going to use this white piece. Right here, the back side has gray on it, but I'm going to use this for photo mats. And then this gorgeous piece of striped paper with the green on the back. As far as embellishments, the 2 I wanted the most were these little banners. They're so cute. And proving that you don't have to do this for weddings, I'm using It Was Love at First Sight for my cat Nicholas, which is true. And then I've got these floral arrangements, hearts, one of the banners, or one of the boxes here for journaling, and these 2 little epoxy arrows. So you can certainly use whatever embellishments you want if you want to mix them up, because Nicole, Debbie, and I did not use them all, but the main 2 for my layout are these banners right here. For the tools, I'm keeping things simple for my layouts, and the things you will definitely need are just your 12-inch trimmer and your repositionable tape runner. Your optional pieces are going to be Microtip Scissors, the Border Maker system, and the new cartridge, Scalloped Hearts. We're going to start with our trimmer, but first I'm going to take our 2 background sheets and put those aside, and we're going to cut this beautiful striped piece of paper. Now I want the stripes going horizontally, so you're going to cut it like this with them going horizontally. And your first cut, you're going to make 2 of these. They're going to be 4 1/4 inches. So we're going to come over here to 4 and go 1/4, and the fourths, if you don't like rulers, are notated by the grid lines here. So 4 and then 1 more grid line, and we're going to cut that, and then we're going to do that one more time. Okay, then the next cuts we're going to make are 2 1/4 inch cuts. Now when you're doing something really small like this, the 1/4, and our cutting line is this line right here where my 1 is. If we went over to the next dotted line to the right, that's 1/8. If we go to the edge of the gray trimmer mat, that's 1/4. And I'm going to make 2 of those cuts. So I have to be very careful to make sure it's lined up all the way to the bottom. And I'm going to do that 2 times. Sometimes if you think you're lining it up here, it may kind of shift at the bottom, and it's going to give you not an even cut all the way. So just make sure it goes all the way to that edge, and we've got 2 perfect little strips. Now we're going to flip it over. Well, you don't have to flip it over, but I'm just saying that because we're going to use the green side. And we are left with exactly 3 inches. So we're going to cut that in half at 1.5 inches. And those are our cuts for that sheet. I'm going to start by assembling this, and it's going to look like this. We're going to put these 2 on the right-hand side and the left-hand side, and then we're going to put these green strips here and these 2 tiny little strips here. Make sure you line it up with the paper over there so the pattern is a continuation all the way across. And what that's giving you is a 6-inch width right here, which we're going to use a little bit for a couple of 6-inch wide landscape oriented photos. Now, if you don't love stripes as much as I do and you'd rather have something more tonal, you can opt to do this, especially if you love green. So here it is the other way. I'm not going to attach it this way because I'm going to do it the original way I thought, because I love stripes. I'm betting you do too, but I think this looks really good right here too. Ooh, now I kind of like it too. now I can't make up my mind after seeing this. That looks pretty good. But I'm going to go with my original plan because I think the blues and the stripes go really well with the photos I've chosen. So I'm going to go ahead and attach all this now. And I hope the clarity of my video is not too poor here. I've had such a situation this week where my laptop has, I won't say died, but it's had a problem with power, and I have had to take it to a repair shop for a couple of days and leave it there, which makes me really nervous. And as I was trying to feverishly back up everything, it was, you know, the power was going down and down to 0. So hopefully a battery replacement is all it's need. Fingers crossed, I hope so, because you know if that's ever happened to you, how frustrating that can be to lose your, you know, your work like that, and to be without your device. Very, 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 very tough. But Debbie and Nicole were so kind. They said, oh my gosh, that's such a headache. If you need to be late with your video and have it a couple of days later, you certainly can do that, which I appreciated them, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted to get it done on time. So I'm editing on my phone with my little app that has served me well for so long, and I still use occasionally for TikTok, but the quality isn't as good. What it does is it decreases the size of the files, which I don't love, but I gotta do what I gotta do. So what I'm doing here is putting these little strips right here. As I showed you before, you want to make sure the pattern is a continuation of right there. And I want to make sure I don't overlap it. I felt like I overlapped that one a little much because I want it to be 6 inches between the papers. Oops. It's hard for me to talk in scrapbook. That's why you usually see me fast forwarding through things so I get it right. Okay. All right. I like that. That's, again, as I like to say, a nice canvas for your photos. You can do a lot of things with that, but I've got some specific places I want to put these. So my next step is going to add a couple of the embellishments. I'll show you why. I picked these and cut these specifically because I just like these little banners, and they're hard to pick up. They're hard to pick up. I'm going to put them at the top up here. So that would look good on the green as well. But I'm going to go with these gorgeous stripes. And if you're wondering where I got this amazing silicone mat and you're wanting one, right now during the first quarter of 2024, I don't know how long it will last, it's our join gift. If you join Creative Memories as an advisor, and I would love to have you on my team, you get this as a free gift with your first order. Not only this, but 2 other sizes as well, but this is my favorite right here. Okay, so I've got our little banners at the top there. Very cute. All right, I'm going to push this aside. Here's going to be our optional piece, and this just adds a little something to it. If you don't have this, you don't have to do it, but it may make you want to get it. I'm just installed, and let me show you how I did that. I just installed the Scalloped Hearts. It goes into the little cartridge housing like this. And I do have a whole video that I'll put up in the top right corner about how to use this border maker system. But we're going to put the paper in here. Okay, that's a magnetic catch, so it's holding our paper sturdy. Tuck that under, and we're going to punch 6 times. Do you see these 6 little pegs right here? They're going to match up with this little peg here. We punch once, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And again, I go into a lot more detail on the video that I have about this wonderful tool. Before I sweep all this trash into my can, look at all these cute little hearts that you could use if you needed some heart confetti. Or you could use your adhesive pen and attach those to your page if you wanted them. That's actually a pretty cute little idea. I won't throw those away just yet. Now, using our trimmer, we're going to trim off this border to whatever size you want. And I'm going to go over here to 1 inch. There we go. That's a nice size. And next we're going to cut this in half at 6 inches because we're going to use half on each page. And I'm going to attach that here at the top. Again, this is optional. You don't have to do this. I'm just adding a little bit extra up here. And this, of course, looks better when it's hanging down because of the direction of the hearts. I've already selected my pictures, and a couple of them I have cut down to 3 3/4 inch wide by 4 tall, so I can put them over here and they still have a bit of a border around them. So the 4x6s will fit nicely in between our papers here and look really good. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and attach these, and then we'll work on the embellishments. I'm choosing where to place these over here because I feel like if I put these smaller photos kind of right here, the lighter color and the stripes is a nice border to them, and it almost looks like they're matted, and I don't have to mat them. Now, this one I'm definitely going to mat, and I will use this white paper, not the gray, because it won't show up as much, but I'm going to give a nice, and I like a skinny mat typically, 1/8 inch mat on this. So to get this right every time, because I trimmed this photo down because it was a true size. You know how if you have, we all have phone cameras. It's not always a 4x6, so I just print it as it was so that I get his whole little head in. And so I just trimmed off the wide up here. So I just put one little sticky of repositionable tape right there. And then I'm going to do my 1/8 inch. So to do that, I'm lining up the photo with the edge of this gray over here. And I'm going to cut all the way down till I see the white line right there. just about 1/8 inch below. So I'm kind of eyeballing it. And then I'm going to come right here, and I'm lining up the bottom of the photo with the dotted line to the right of my cutting line, which I know is 1/8 inch. And I'm going to again cut to where I need to cut. So the reason I just put one small piece of repositionable tape runner in there so I can take it off. And now I know that whatever I do, it's never going to be perfect. So now I'm going to come over here and center it perfectly on this mat, and it's going to look really good. That looks much better if I had already attached it and then tried to cut it after attaching it. I usually don't care about things being perfect, but that's something that's pretty easy for me to control, so I'll do that. This cat has the fanciest album in the whole house, I have said. All right, so let's go ahead and attach these over here. Now I think I want to leave room for a title, so I don't think I'm going to put this in line with that. I think I'm going to have these a little bit lower. I'll have this one in line with that one, this one a little lower, and leave room for some ABC stickers up there. My journaling will be right here. I'm attaching my ABCs, and I actually love this little chore. I'm using the sans serif font in white, and the L's come out like this, if you can see that, where they have a little thing sticking out, like almost like a tiny capital L. I don't want that, so I'm going to trim that off. I do that every time. I make this more time consuming than it needs to be, but I like the look of it better. I of course use the multi-tool to attach these, and I am putting on his nickname here. His name is Nicholas, but I call him Kit Kat or Little Kit Kat, and we have joked about that it would be his rap name if he had one, and that's because when my son was a little boy, he said his rap name was going to be French Fry if he were a rapper one day. So I thought that was fantastic. Actually, French Fry would be a really good name, I think. So he's a Little Kit Kat. Actually, I've given that as his middle name, and so he is Nicholas K. Guest because, hey, that's how we are. And of course, I make mistakes when I scrapbook. And after doing that, I realized, ooh, it's not centered. Not that that bothers me, but I'd rather have it towards the right because at the last minute, I decided where I wanted to put one of my embellishments. So look how easy these ABCs lift off. I spared you the first ones because it just takes a little moment. But okay, I've moved it now. And so now I'm going to put these right here where I have the room right there. And I think that looks really good. So for these other embellishments that I have 4 of the floral pieces that I'm going to put behind something. And so I think they need to be going kind of out like that. So these match up really good. I'm going to put this one over here, and I'm going to put this one with that. And then I'll have all my embellishments there. So I'll go ahead and attach these. I'm not using foam squares. I should though, because that would look really cute with these popped up a little bit. So that is an option there. If you want to pop those up with some foam squares, it looks really nice. Oh my gosh, this video could be all about how to make mistakes and how to fix them. So I'm going to show you another one so that hopefully you get another tip. So I wrote, I'll always like to have the date, and these photos are from October and November of 2021. 21, not 2001. I don't know why. I think I'm 20 years younger than I really am. But so I wrote that directly on the paper. I know you're gasping right now going, oh my gosh. And there's no kind of thing I can put over there. I don't have any of this extra paper I could cut off. I could cut off a snippet behind here. Oh, I could, and put it over there perhaps. One other option, and then rewrite it. Kind of want to try that. One other option is to just write it on this lighter paper, but no, I'm going to try this. I'm going to try it. Oh my goodness. This is just insane. So I'm going to pull this up a little bit. And I'm just going to cut this off because it goes all the way to the edge. Nobody's going to know. I'm just going to cut some out of the middle here. Look at that. It's ever going to know. No one's ever going to know that I just stole that paper from back there. Okay? And so, let me find what matches here. Look at that. Look, y'all. I'm pretty impressed. So, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut it off. And so, I'm matching the pattern. Let me zoom in so you can see this. How to fix a blunder. I'm matching that pattern. Let's see what looks best here. I think going this way. With using the multi-tool, kind of tuck it up under there and just make sure that pattern continues. I can see the start of my 2, which is cool. Look at that. No one's going to know. And now let me write it carefully in my navy blue. All right, so carefully 2, 2021. Oh my gosh. So if you get one tip out of this video, that actually might be it. So I'm going to add just a little more tape runner down here to make sure it's sturdy. And then I could use my trimmer, but I'm just going to use my scissors and trim that off. You would never know that's there unless I had told you. Wow, I am pretty excited about those results. When I'm looking at it through the camera here, I can't even see where it was corrected. That's my new favorite trick. So I'm putting down the last embellishments here. I love tilting things because you can never mess it up. And so I did overlap some of the photos here, as you can see with those. It just gives it a nice look to it. And I think we're finished. Oh, except I've got these and I am going to use them. I'll put this one right here and I'll put that one right there. So remember how I said you could use those little hearts as confetti if you needed it from that new punch, that new Border Maker cartridge, these Scalloped Hearts? Well, here's a couple of tools. I didn't say you would need the lifter stick and the adhesive pen if you want to do this. This is totally optional. So I'm just going to have a little spray of small hearts here. So here's what I'll do. I'll just put the dots of glue where I want these, and let me zoom in here. We'll see how this looks. And then I'm going to pick them up with the lifter stick and place them down. So easy to do that way because these things are hard to deal with otherwise. So I pick them up and then with my hand or my fingers, I place them and I press them down so that the glue sticks. So maybe I want to do a couple more. Maybe one up here. That's cute. Let's see what we think. Okay, all done. That's kind of random, but I kind of like it. Again, it's optional. You can do it if you want. And again, this piece is optional up here. It looks good without it as well. So there's my page. There's a lot of pattern going on there. If you don't like the stripes as much, just turn all these pieces over for just a little bit of stripe in the middle. You do whatever you like best, but I think this turned out great. Be sure to check out Nicole and Debbie's videos. You'll find the links to their videos in the description of this video. And if you've enjoyed this, be sure to hit the like or subscribe to see future videos. Thanks for watching and have fun making your pages.